everyone. I'm Heather Childers, and welcome to a brand new hour inside America's News Headquarters. Well, President Obama and Governor Romney coming out swinging over immigration, each trying to win over Hispanic voters at a conference this week. Take a listen to this exchange.
Just 6 years ago, an unlikely trio, John McCain, Ted Kennedy, President Bush, came together to champion comprehensive immigration reform. I, along with a lot of Democrats, were proud to join 23 Senate Republicans in voting for it. Today, those same Republicans have been driven away from the table by a small faction of their own party.
For 2 years, this president had huge majorities in the House and Senate. He was free to pursue any policy he pleased. But he did nothing to advance a permanent fix for our broken immigration system. Nothing. Instead, he failed to act until facing a tough re-election and trying to secure your vote.
So is immigration just the latest battle in the ever-changing news cycle, or could it be a major issue in the race for the White House? Time for a fair and balanced debate. Sabrina Schaefer, Executive Director of Independent Women's Forum, and John Hlinko, the founder of Left Action and president of Hlinko Consulting. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks. So we just heard Governor Romney say there that the president had huge majorities in the House and the Senate for 2 years, but failed to act on immigration until now. So, John, what is your response to that? Is the president pandering for votes from a much-needed contingency? And if not, why didn't he act on this before?
Well, he actually did act on it before. The DREAM Act passed the Senate with 55 votes. The problem is we have this absurd system of the filibuster, where a minority of 41 votes can overcome a majority of 59. So he acted, and the DREAM Act passed, and if it were not for the filibuster, it would be the law of the land. So, you know, look, it's an election year, and of course this is a very important policy to a lot of people, so it's not surprising that it's coming to the fore. But frankly, the president took a big risk in implementing the steps he did to basically implement part of the DREAM Act through executive action. That was a big deal, and I think he took a big risk, and 64% of Americans supported it. So it was a risk, but politically, I think it's going to be very effective for him.
So, Sabrina, what do you think about the timing of all this?
Well, I think it's a little suspicious. I mean, the fact is that the president said that immigration was going to be a top policy priority for him on the campaign trail back in 2008. Yet here we are almost 4 years into his term, and we're first really having a full conversation about it. I think the problem with this is that he's trying to have a quick fix before November. But there are real lives at stake here. There are real people who are looking for a clear path to citizenship. We haven't really dealt with comprehensive reform. There are businesses that would like to hire illegal immigrants who are reluctant to do so because an executive order is only going to last until the next presidency, and that may be sooner than President Obama likes to think.
So the executive order by President Obama last week, you know, still in question whether or not he overstepped his authority on that. But leaving that aside, it was to halt deportations for some illegal immigrants who were brought to the U.S. as children. And it was also part of Senator Marco Rubio's conservative DREAM Act plan that he has proposed. So I want to take a listen to Senator Rubio on the immigration issue. Listen.
As long as this issue of immigration is a political ping pong that each side uses to win elections and influence votes, I'm telling you, it won't get solved. Because there are too many people that have concluded that this issue unresolved is more powerful. They want it to stay unresolved. It's easier to influence elections. It's easier to use to raise money.
With that being said, John, really aren't both sides politicizing this?
Well, I think Senator Rubio makes a good point that this has been politicized and it's a very tough issue. But really, the politicization is coming far more on the Republican side. The Democrats are ready to work. They're ready to cross the aisle. They were supporting they supported legislation that George Bush would have supported. George Bush himself would not be welcome in today's Republican Party on this issue.
But there's clearly identity politics going on. Right. There's identity politics going on both sides, but certainly I think that the Democrats are you know, more well-versed in this. And I think that what's really important to remember is that, look, in the Latino community, there is over 30% unemployment right now. The idea that we're talking about immigration rather than as if it trumps, you know, job creation and economic growth, I think is going to be transparent to all voters, especially Hispanic voters. And I think that we also have to remember that the Latino community is not monolithic in its support for certain immigration policies. This is a diverse and varied opinion group, and so I think the idea that we could sort of pull out immigration rather than talk about the economy and deal with those issues head on is patronizing.
And John, address that for me, if you will. President Obama, he won the Hispanic vote by 67% in 2008. Right. At the moment, he does look to be ahead this time around with Hispanic voters in 5 key battleground states. Yeah. But does he just need to focus on immigration? What about the economy?
Well, he's been focusing on the economy for the last 4 years and trying to do what he can. It's the Republicans that keep on using the filibuster, now using their majority in the House, to prevent a serious action to make things better. But let's be clear, the economy was losing 741,000 jobs a month the last month of the Bush administration. We'd be at 27% unemployment now if that trend had continued. So a lot has been done. There's a lot more need to be done, of course. But immigration reform is a very important issue to a lot of folks, well, in this community, but Americans as a whole. Right. There's a reason that 64% of Americans support what President Obama did. Once they know what it actually involves, they support it.
Okay, I have to wrap it up there, though. Sabrina, final word quickly.
Okay, to look at the electoral map, I mean, really the states that we care about are Colorado, Nevada, and Florida. And Florida is sort of its own animal because we're talking about the Cuban population, which is often sort of differentiated from the larger Hispanic population. So I think it's interesting. Ultimately, we're coming down to about 15 electoral votes.
Yeah, but Hispanic votes expected to grow 20% over 2008 from 10 million to 12 million this time around in 2012. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your insight. Thank you.